It's not?
Is on.
You see all that?
Yep. I'm gonna sit down.
Picking a different angle today. Because last
Jen
time
didn't like the last
I
one.
didn't like the last angle. It added 10 pounds.
Ish.
Okay, so we're coming to check back in. You might have to do some of the talking. My voice is a little bit hoarse because I've been sick.
Not because she's been talking all day.
Shut up. Okay, so part of our videos is going through what our goals were last week and did we make them, and then also going through new goals, right? And then we were going to do something fun today too, just to kind of keep it lighthearted. But you want to say that for the end?
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and jump in?
Why? Because you want to hear that I failed?
I thought consensus was neither one of us. Excuse me. I thought the consensus was neither one of us did all that great this past week.
All right. So basically, guys, we're just showing you that this is real life. Like, we're not editing this behind the scenes. And I mean, it's just, we're kind of winging it, and you're not always perfect. And that's kind of part of this, is you just kind of learn as you go and you try to better yourselves. And I think by coming out and saying it, bless you,
Thank you.
this is accountability. And yeah, so last week, and we actually had a week and a half, which makes it even worse.
And
Last
better.
week, well, yeah, okay, we had some successes, so we'll focus on the positive too. So last week, we'll go through professional goals first. My professional goal was to launch 2 successful parties for my Unique business. And those of you guys that haven't watched a previous video, I sell makeup through Unique. And basically, I did really well. Dan doesn't know quite all about them. He just knows I spent a lot of time on my computer and phone. But I even did it through working full-time, the kids, and they're 7 days long, and I didn't use any templates, which was awesome, because most of the time you can like copy and paste from other people's, but I didn't. I just did my own thing, so it was myself. Don't touch those.
I can touch them. You can't touch them.
And then I actually got both my parties to qualify, and if you guys know what that means, basically I earned the hostess rewards, which was free Unique cash to spend on goodies for half-price products, which was my main goal for the parties. And I kept pushing my hostesses to kind of really push for those rewards, and they did an awesome job. But I kind of was nervous because a lot of the Unique videos that I've watched from different presenters, they're like, oh, you're going to fail like your first few parties. So I basically was in my mind thinking that I was going to fail, but I kept telling myself I couldn't have that attitude, otherwise that's what was going to happen. So I ended up rocking it. And I have more parties to come. I have a couple this month. I already have one booked for March. Something really big coming up this month, which I can't share with everybody yet. I think Dan knows, but he probably already forgot. Sorry, excuse me.
I'm really excited for you.
Such a turd. Okay. Go ahead. So that was my professional goal. I made it. So now, Dan, what was your professional goal last week?
Mine was a little bit less defined, I think. I committed to getting my equipment together for my custom crankbait business. And I did. Well, I did to the extent that I know what I need, if that's fair. So this is not a kind of a well-defined process for me. I'm figuring it out as I go. So about every other day, I realize I need something else, and then I go out and I acquire it. So I was successful in that everything I knew that I needed, I got. I got it organized. I got space set up out in the garage. I've got a defined plan to build the things I didn't want to buy. So that's probably going to happen tomorrow. Surprise! I'll be in the garage. But, I got to give myself a mission accomplished stamp this week. I think I did what I set out to do. And even some things I didn't set out to do. Part of what I was going to do this week was some more of the administrative stuff. Finding packaging, initial conversations with the post office. And I got some of that stuff taken care of. So this week is going to be a little bit more concrete, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But in addition to getting my equipment in order, I got a little bit of a head start on this week, which was great because she didn't know that until now, and now she can't change my goals on me, make them something else. So I'm going to put one in the win column on that.
You're not going to excel this week now. That's it. You failed.
No, I got a head start. I'm going to do great.
All right. So should we do personal? Maybe you should start.
All right, I'll start. I'll kick off
From
the
last
personal goal.
week.
Last week, I committed to being more patient with the kids, specifically my son, who's pushing 3 years old now. Can be a raging pain in the ass if you've got
Dan.
almost 3. They know. Most of you watching this knowing. There are probably only a couple of you that are like, oh, I wonder whose kid is. The rest of you know. My son is amazing. I love him. He's the most special kid I ever could have imagined. But he is 100% boy, and he's 110% mine. So
He's too smart for his own good, too.
I'm going to have to rebuild my house from about 3.5 feet down once he's old enough to stop destroying it. In any case, my goal is to be more patient with the kids. And Jen and I were kind of joking before this, and she's like, boy, you didn't do that good, did you? And it's like, well, I kind of did. I feel like maybe that wasn't the greatest goal in the world in terms of measurability, because eventually, no matter how patient you are, you're going to break down and let them have it. So
You probably do better. I feel like sometimes I get my crazy voice on.
it's funny, too, when she does. It goes real high-pitched and shrill, and she just sounds nuts. Like, it doesn't sound authoritative. It just kind of sounds crazy.
Sometimes I just break down and I'm like,
It's like a female version of Donald Duck. Just, it's great.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome. It's amazing. I love it.
So you think that you did well this week with
I did better. I've got a ways to go. I mean, I'm not going to say that there wasn't any times when I maybe jumped quicker than I should have. But I will also say that he got more than a couple of chances extra, too, in certain circumstances. So it's a work in progress. How about you? How good did you do this week? Was I paid attention to?
Stop.
Was I...
So my personal goal last week, if you guys remember, was to basically be more focused on my husband. I did not do as well, and that sounds sad. That actually makes me sad. That makes me sad saying that. I guess part of, this isn't about excuses, but and sometimes it's a positive character trait, and sometimes it's a big flaw in myself as how much of an A personality I am. And I get so focused on goals. Excuse me. And so I've had a lot of business goals and things going on, and then working, and I really dwell right in when I work my shifts and very focused on my patients. And so I think that I said that was my goal, but I didn't necessarily act on it. And basically that's human. Good news is that was only a week and a half you had to endure. And this week's going to be better. Basically, my husband and I, we sat down earlier this week, which we're going to try to start doing at night and not just kind of always focus on TV.
We yelled a lot.
No, we didn't yell.
Oh, that was today. I thought you meant earlier in the week.
Stop. Basically, I need to finish what I started, but we had talked about, maybe just setting some boundaries for myself, right? Maybe just there's certain times that is for my business, and certain times it's not, and certain times it's just him, and I need to shut my mind off, and I need to work on that. Actually, I really wanted to start off by doing it at night when we went to bed, and so I thought if I rubbed my calming essential oil behind my ears, it would help me. It did not help.
I didn't even know she was doing that. I had no idea. All I know...
I had, lavender rolling, and...
She'd be like, just, I gotta make this one more post, like she's in the middle of it, and it's gonna be done in the next, 18 to 22 seconds. And 30 minutes later, when she's still staring at her phone, and I'm asleep.
And then I'm upset.
And then
I'm
she's
like,
mad.
we didn't
She's
spend time together.
Wake up! Why are you going to bed without me? Wake up! I'm like, yeah. You never wait up for me. Well, I was willing to first.
It's a new week. Let's just not focus on it.
No,
all right?
listen, we're going to focus on it for a second because I do have to say this. No, this is good. You're going to like this.
Oh, I feel like you told me this.
No,
go
this
ahead.
is coming out of left field. I'm surprised you a little bit.
Okay.
No, I got to give you a little bit of a pass, and here's why. So, this is not intended to be half-assed. We're trying.
Say less words.
I'm just being me.
Okay. Sorry.
I thought I cleaned it up a little bit.
Okay.
If you've spent any amount of time with me, you know that this is very much the PG version. For your eyes, it's the truth.
I swear like this.
What?
Okay, go ahead. All right, I'm sorry. Be heartfelt. Yes.
No, it's gone.
Dan, come
I
on.
lost it.
Finish. My voice needs a rest.
Well, you can stop talking anytime you want.
Go. Quit being a turd.
All right, what I wanted to say is that we don't necessarily know what's going to happen next week. So we've got our goals that we lay out for ourselves, but we've never done this before. We are very much 9-to-5ers. I mean, ish, right? I mean, medicine's a little bit screwy, but I come from the corporate world. I don't necessarily know what goes into building a business like this from scratch. She doesn't know what goes into building this makeup business, or even I think we talked about it earlier, exactly what she wants it to become yet. We're still trying to define that. So to set a goal for yourself for the week, which was admirable, and I appreciate it. I wasn't about to thought, no, don't spend time with me. I'm good, you know. But to set a goal like you're going to be more focused on me at the same time you're doing something you've never done before and twice in the same week is probably a little bit unrealistic now that we look back at it, right? So, I mean, you got to take a little bit of a pass for that. I think you did a good job. You tried more than you're admitting that you tried, but the reality is if you'd have done one party, it would have been a stretch. To do two at the exact same time, and guys, she was successful. She had a really good, I think both parties went very well. The hostesses, they were successful. They had a good time, I think. So, I mean, it went great. So I think to beat yourself up too much on how much time you spent focused on me is probably a little bit harsh. You can give yourself a pass on it, I think.
So I get another week. That's the good news.
Yeah, she can't screw up again or I'm out. I'm chucking deuces and
I don't have
kidding.
parties next week, but there are some rolling out the following week. So hopefully by next week I will have done a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, if this coming week goes like last week, the garage is closed. I mean, I got my workspace all set up. All I need is a mini fridge and a microwave, and I'm good to go. So I might just move out there and crank these things out by the thousands instead of tens. Anyways, that was fun.
Okay.
What are we going on to next?
Do you want to break for the fun thing, or do you want to talk about next week's? Should we do next week's goals last?
No, because we're going to probably lose them there. So why don't we start with what we're going to focus on this coming week?
So,
I'd start watching.
well, basically personal. Personal. We already told you guys what my personal goal is. Basically, finishing what I started last week.
Watch.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay.
I've had a couple of beers, and I'm telling her to watch the Hooks.
I have not. Okay, so
one's half drank.
My
right
personal
there.
goal, you guys already know, is basically to focus again more on my husband and try to succeed this time. I don't have as many excuses. Okay, what's your personal goal, Dan?
My personal goal for this week. We wrote this down.
Yes. Remember the stuff I told you about?
I have an attitude problem. That's what she told me.
I actually texted it to you because I was afraid to tell you in person. It was like a book.
We had a rough morning. What day was it?
I have to work, but something happened.
So did I.
Well, no, but meaning, you know how I'm rushing out the door? And first of all, I'm at fault. Like, I was running late because I was doing my live video, and then I get tanked up. And Lily's been kind of have a cold, and then when I get tanked up, I get on my high horse and I go running and I like bombard Dan with, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you remember this?
If you've ever seen Uncle Buck, the scene when Macaulay Culkin asked John Candy like 30-some questions in a row.
I'm guilty. It just like snowballs.
If you haven't seen Uncle Buck, turn this off, go watch Uncle Buck. I don't know what you're doing.
So anyway, I sent Dan this long text about, I don't want to like.
No, you didn't have to go back into it. But basically, what it amounted to is I am a miserable sack of garbage. No, I'm joking. No, it wasn't that bad. Basically, she was right. I work hard. We all work hard, right? I mean, I'm probably no different than anybody else. But I am a little bit different maybe in that where most of you have these selfish thoughts and you're like, man, I really, I just want some me time. I'm actually selfish and I act on it. So I really need just some me time. And when I don't get it, I pout and kick and scream and throw up a big fuss and make everybody else as miserable as I am. And I'm good at that. So she called me on it and told me that I needed to work on my attitude a little bit. Because
some of that was that you were upset about the weather, and then you were upset about, like, I know, but things you can't control. Like
somebody should be able to.
Dan is always one of the first ones to tell me not to be upset when I can't control things. So, of course, I had to take the opportunity to tell. But no, seriously. Because I notice as I've changed my attitude, I have better days, majority of the time.
You know what I noticed? We have a collective level of miserable that we like to maintain in this house. So if Jen moves a little bit this direction and gets happier, I'm just going to go the other way and offset it with some misery. But the good news is we do balance each other out very well, I think. So no, I'm joking a lot. I got to work on it this week. I'm gonna try.
So basically, a more positive attitude.
Yes.
And part of that is waking up early. I'm trying to get Dan to do some of the miracle mornings, and you've been doing it already.
I've been getting up and going for a run. She wants me to start reading in the morning. My positive outlook starts tomorrow. I can be negative for just a little bit more right now, but I spend a lot of time at work reading. Like I read for a living. That's basically what I do all day, and not fun stuff. So to start my day a little bit earlier, reading is just not very high on my list of things I want to do.
Exercise is part of it.
The exercise is good. I've been getting up and doing my runs, and that feels good. I mean, I'm enjoying that. I think probably a big detractor for me in that space has just again been the weather this week. It's been kind of cold. For growing up in Cleveland, I can't stand the cold. Like, I'm done with cold.
Go too much into I'm just kidding.
I'm lost.
No, I'm just saying. Remember, this is our goal for next week, so you don't need to talk too much about what you're doing.
Okay. I guess I'm done.
But no, so it's attitude. There's a lot. Just basically having a more positive attitude and changing what you can to do that.
I think my actual goal for next week is to do a better job at doing what she tells me, which at the moment happens to be having a better attitude.
Dan, come on. You agreed with me.
I did. Listen, I'm a happier person when I'm... That's about the dumbest thing I could have said. I'm a happier person when I'm not miserable. That's true. You should write that down.
All right, so
message received.
Yes.
I need to be a little bit. I need to be a lot more positive and not necessarily get the little things firing me up. So I'm gonna try.
Okay. So now we'll outline our professional goals real quick.
Real quick.
You wanted to go first?
All right, I'll go first because I'm going to be quick. I am going to nail down my shipping expense because that's been a big problem. It's not a problem. It's a question mark in my pricing strategy. I need to find out exactly what I'm going to be looking at to ship. Wind's blowing. Within reason, so I know if I can afford to offer free shipping on just one unit, if I need a price point to hit free shipping, or if they're just customers always going to pay shipping. So I need to figure that out, and that's going to be on the docket for this week. As is packaging. I did locate, I said last week I got a jump. Last week I located some companies I could buy clamshell packaging from. If you don't know what clamshell packaging is, it's basically the clear plastic boxes that most of what you buy comes in. Either a 4-sided plastic box or the 3-side job that sandwiches up against cardboard that typically has your branding or your logo on it. So found both, going to decide which one I want to go with. But get those ordered this week because as you can see, I've started doing some more painting, not some painting. One of these has been done for a while, but I'm still really trying to be at market by the end of this month. So shout out to my cousin Zach if he sees this. He's helping me out with the website. I appreciate that. But right now I'm just working on inventory, working on getting my shipping costs figured out, working on getting my packaging figured out, and we'll go from there. But good news is, it wasn't a goal for last week, but the first run of baits that I ordered did finally get here. So I've got 120 right now, 120 crankbaits, topwater, wake baits, you name it. I've got it. So working on patterns and paint. It's going to be a good week.
Work. Okay.
A lot of work.
So my professional goal, and again, guys, I mainly talk about unique, even though I am a PA and very full-blown dedicated to it. But these videos, because unique's new to me, I mean, I've been a PA for almost 9 years, so I usually focus on unique right now, unless I feel like I need to go into the medicine part. But anyway, I have some unique professional goals. Essentially, because I'm a yellow status presenter now, the next color up is pink status. So there is an amount of money that I need to sell in order to do that. And believe it or not, I'm already 53% of the way there. And what is it, like 9th or 10th day of the month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ninth.
So I'm really rocking it. So thank you to all my supporters. But the other part is that I need to sponsor somebody. So I'm messaging people. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I really think I can help coach somebody to success. I really do. I feel like I'm really passionate about uplifting and empowering people. I've really got some great tools and tricks up my sleeve that I'm using for myself, and I'm watching my business grow, and it's full of excitement. Today you were talking to me about the big picture, so it even has me thinking of that. Sometimes I don't like to just focus on what I'm trying to get to short term. Sometimes I also like to know what I have to look forward, which maybe someday I'll be a black status. Dan and I were talking about that a little bit, but basically I really moving on up. So pink status, here we come, and it might not be next week, but it is something that I'm continually working towards, even though we hope it's next week. But yeah, it's my professional.
Cool.
Okay, so now we're just going to do something a little bit fun. So Dan and I...
For her.
Well, it's fun for Dan, too. He's super excited. He told me before the video.
She didn't tell me I was doing this until I was sitting
I came
here.
running down. Well, first I thought maybe we do cooking. It's too late for cooking. It's like nighttime here. The kids are in bed. But basically, what's funny about each of our businesses is each of us knows very little, like terminology and
nothing.
So it's kind of funny. I feel like when I'm talking to Dan about makeup, Dan, don't touch it.
I'm worried you're going to put your hand down.
I'm not going to touch it.
I promise you, these things will
You're
go right in.
stressing me out.
You're stressing me out.
Our son says that now. Okay. Anyway, so I thought it would be funny for us to try to market and show each other's product, and then at the end, I will actually talk about the real product briefly, and Dan will talk about his, and then we'll try to wrap this up so this isn't too long. It's already getting there.
Time, yeah, we're
already
23 minutes, 24 minutes.
You
do know there's a counter on the front of that, right? In case you get lost. Okay,
watching.
I'm just checking. I actually took my glass off. I don't know what it says.
Okay, so you want to go first or me?
I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna take cue from you.
Okay, so I do have to touch them. Can I touch them?
You can touch them, just don't get one in your hand.
So these are lures.
Wait, what are they?
Dan, stop.
Somebody was busting my chops about having a Midwest accent the other day. So
these are lures or lures. This is very beautiful. Look how cute. It's got a shiny blue metallic. This is like a clownfish, almost like Nemo. And what it does is it has like this vibrant yellow hue to it. And it's got little jingles, hooks at the bottom that'll wave off through the water and basically catch onto little fish fins so that it gets them. But you don't want to basically these are very unique because they won't get stuck on stuff like garbage that's floating around in the water. Am I close?
You're nowhere near it, but keep going. This is fun.
Okay.
I'm enjoying watching
really
this.
It. And see, even the eyes, like the way that reflects, the crappie and the grouper basically will be attracted this color is very specific to it.
I love you.
Okay. Wait, we have one more to show.
Oh, we do.
Okay.
Okay.
Now this one's a little bit different. This one's a little bit more of a neutral look. This is a little bit more of a little camouflage guy. So basically when the bass fish, along with the salmon, are spawning, they like to basically just snatch on down. And basically these just help catch bigger fish. Yep.
Okay. Well, that was fun. You want to set that down without hooking yourself?
Okay, your turn. Well, do you want to talk about the real things?
Well, yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah, because I'm going to sound like an idiot trying to... Actually, she doesn't know this, but since she told me that I have to talk about these things, and I'm not really a big talker when it comes to makeup, but as you can see, I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit here for a second. That's,
Why are you... Don't mess up
hang on, it's fine. That's not half bad, right? So, I mean, I'm getting there. I'm kind of an artist. And since I'm kind of an artist and I don't know what's in the makeup, I'm going to actually do Jen's makeup. Since she wants me... Oh, it's going to be great, too. So, we're going to have some fun with that in just a second. But before we do that... Yeah, you just backfired on you.
I don't want you to mess up my palette. It's my only one.
I'm an artist.
All right, go
It's
ahead.
fine. I got this.
This is unplanned. All right, go ahead. Talk about your real
All
fishies.
right, my real fishies. Let's start with the crappie grouper catcher. Is that what this one was?
Watch the hooks. Out of control.
I've taken these things out of my fingers sober. This would be nothing tonight. This is what's called a 1.5 square bill. Now let me back up for a second and say that these are not my custom-made lures. I am working on a custom line. They'll probably be out sometime in the next 2 months. These particular blanks are made by major manufacturers, and I get these guys from China. So you could go to Bass Pro Shops, you could go to Dick's, you could buy this exact same blank with one of the company painted schemes on it, and it would fish the exact same. What's unique about these guys is I put together the color scheme to match what I've specifically fished. So this is actually kind of a two entirely different applications, and it's funny that Jen mentioned crappie and grouper because one's saltwater, one's freshwater, and one can be the size of a Volkswagen, and the other one doesn't get any bigger than about that. So I don't know where I was going with that, but this guy, real quick, this is meant to pattern after what's called a greenback or a pilchard. I used to fish with those guys when I was in Florida doing the saltwater fishing, get it nice and close. And I'm really happy with the way this thing came out. Went out and threw it last week over a lunch break, just a little bit to check the action. Was really happy with it, so looking forward to making some more of those. That will, of course, be part of the saltwater line. This guy right here, she said clownfish. Not a clownfish. This is actually a shad pattern. Shad are pretty much in every freshwater body, really, that I know of. I mean, they're everywhere. But this particular color scheme is meant to work in dirty water. The colors are less important, as is the contrast. So bright yellow body, blue back will give it a nice silhouette that a bass can see in a really murky or stained water. So looking forward to throwing that one. This is actually called a wake bait. This thing runs right below the surface, so it's kind of a cross between a top water and a crankbait. Throw it out, pull it back, and makes a neat little wake on the water, and a lot of fun to watch this thing get bit because the water just explodes around and the fish eat it, so it's pretty cool. Anyways, that's what I've got put together so far. The yellow one, freshwater. This guy, saltwater. And even when I go live, there will be several available in both fresh and saltwater lines, so I'm looking forward to that. Now, the fun part.
You're supposed to talk about the product.
Well, I found the best way to present a product to somebody is to show them what it can do. So, we're going to show them what it can do. You know what? Let's bring them in a little closer. Because, yeah, that's right. Let's, there you go. Yeah, right. Hang on. All right. I'm not going to go around and double check the camera angle, so if that's not the best, just going to have to live with it. But, this...
I'll show the product.
is Moodstruck Beloved by Unique. This is a 4-color palette ranging from Devoted to Unwavering. Now, if I had to guess, I'd say that's probably on like a 1 to 4 scale. I don't know which is good and which is bad, but I'm pretty confident these two right here fall somewhere in the middle. Now, Jen already looks beautiful. I would say she is alluring and adored. She's definitely Unwavering, and this week we're going to work on Devoted, so let's start there. Let's see. You.
Careful, don't mess it up.
I got it.
Just don't mess it up.
I would never.
Okay.
I would never.
Dan, you're really.
I feel like Bob Ross a little bit right now.
Just don't abuse the palette. It gets really stressed.
I would not abuse the palette.
I'm buying another one tonight.
I would never abuse the palette. You have to respect the palette.
I'm buying one tonight.
I feel like I need an afro and some pot to be Bob Ross.
Dan,
but anyways,
we don't have either.
We don't.
Before that goes out.
I do have the brush though.
I will tell you only need a little bit, so don't blow my whole palette. Go ahead.
I'm not going to blow your palette.
Okay.
Hang on. Hang on, just. Now, see, you look like one of those guys in the old movies with a little mustache and you wiggle your mouth.
Great.
Yeah. Hey, can I, please?
Just do not mix that brush in until it's ready.
Hmm?
Dan, you're fine. Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, guys.
It's okay. Okay, hang on. Now, she's Devoted. Okay? She's got her funny German mustache and war paint under her eyes. She's ready to rock and roll. She's going to take on the world this week.
You didn't even talk about the brush.
It's a brush. You've seen a brush, right? What they really want to know about is the lip bonbons. Now, if you can get a close-up of that, the lip bonbons.
It's not dark, so it's not gonna be as dramatic as you're thinking. It's not like lipstick.
I'm a movie guy. I like the movies. If you've ever seen Dead Poets Society, Jen probably doesn't remember this scene because Jen doesn't really remember and appreciate the classics. But Dead Poets Society was one of Robin Williams' early movies, one of my favorite Robin Williams movies.
You made me watch it multiple times.
And she still doesn't know what's about to happen, and that's what makes this so fun. There was a scene where the boys
if it involves ruining this, I'm going to be really upset.
Well, it's not even eat it or anything.
Well, don't ruin the thing.
I don't really know what that means, so
Okay.
We're going to find out if I'm ruining it or not in a second. But there is a saying that they recite when they're about to go do their poetry in the cave, and it's Tawanda. Now, what they do is they take the lipstick, I'm not really sure what they have lipstick for, and they draw war paint on their face with lipstick. So, I'm going to...
Like lipstick. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, let's see, we do the...
Don't mix it in the eyeshadow. Is it showing up?
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to go over it a couple of times. Don't worry about it.
Don't ruin so much of it. Oh.
That's so great. That's so great. And then, hang on. Now, you see you're smiling too much, and I there we go. Okay. Now, again, lip bonbon. It's with an S. By Unique. It's not lipstick, which I thought it was lipstick, so I'm already failing, I guess, in that regard. But if I'm going to bring you in for just a second, you are going to see just how gorgeous and glowing Jennifer looks. So
now let me just talk about these products for real before we leave.
Well, all right, fine. I don't know what you're going to say I didn't already say, but...
All right, so every month we have kudos. This is by far my favorite kudos, hence why you heard me freaking out. So I was afraid Dan was going to ruin it. Our lip bonbons are a lip balm.
Red stuff.
Or a lip balm. It's kind of a moisturizing with a little bit of a tint. So really neat. I like to wear it at work a lot. And then it comes with a crease brush, which Dan like totally just cockeyed up. But it's a crease brush that you use.
Can you say that?
Yes. Here, let me show you where you're supposed to put it. Take off your glasses.
I already shoved it up my nose.
Take off your glasses. Take it off.
No.
Brush for you to apply that eyeshadow to. So it's a crease. And then real quick, I think it looks okay. So this is a full color palette. I'm still ordering another one. This is our Moodstruck Beloved palette, and it's only on special for this month. And I've already created 4 different eye looks with this, and I love it. It's shades of purples and pinks, and it is the best. So anyway,
Laura, they're 63% sold out.
They're
63% sold
my
out.
mom will go and buy it now. And it's 63% sold out.
Sorry,
We're expecting it to sell out by Monday. All right, you totally. All right, we need to cut this off.
It's going downhill quick.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday to see how we did with our goals.
I'm gonna do a full clown mask on her then, so don't miss it.
All right, guys, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.